Colorado Avalanche 4, Edmonton Oilers 0. Welcome to the next day reaction with myself and Zach Lang here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe before we get into the breakdown. Zach, how do you rate that performance from the Edmonton Oilers?
It was a tough one, Waz.
Yeah.
It really was. I mean, beyond a 2-minute stretch in the second period, the Oilers had started off the game really well, I thought.
Yeah.
I thought in the first period, they did a really good job of managing the puck. They were able to contain the Colorado Avalanche as much as you can contain the Colorado Avalanche. And the Oilers generated some good offensive zone time in their own right. I think there was some good stuff that you liked heading into that second frame. And then, all of a sudden a little Darnell Nurse turnover in the own zone and the Avalanche floodgates opened up, right? So,
Yeah, 3 goals in the second, none in the third, none in the first. And I thought it was a game that could have gone to overtime how the first period went. And then, like you said, the floodgates just started to open. 1 goal happened, second, third, and then game's over. And then I totally forgot a fourth happened.
And then the Avalanche, McKinnon got the fourth on the power play in the third period there, but
my bad there. I said no goals in the third. I totally forgot that one happened. Yeah.
No goals for the Oilers.
Yeah.
I mean, you could feel the Oilers game sort of wilt away, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 3 goals against in 204. That's tough for any team to rebound from. It was a frustrating one, but you know what? Like, they're coming back home now for an important game 3 and 4, and I think game 3 is going to be the deciding factor of the series.
100%. I mean, Rogers Place is going to be rocking. We're going to have to really rely on the home support. One player that's got a lot of, criticism was Darnell Nurse, and you mentioned you had something to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, in my eyes, Darnell Nurse isn't the one who should be taking on the blame, or all of the blame, rather, the way that he is. He's a guy who's playing through a core muscle injury that's probably going to require surgery in the offseason. Obviously, there's been some mistakes that have been pretty glaring from him, but I think the coaching staff needs to do a better job of sheltering him right now, and I think that's the biggest thing. I think coming back for Game 3, you're going to have to roll 11 and 7 and bring in an extra defenseman to kind of take off some of the minutes of Darnell Nurse on that top pairing with Cody Ceci. I understand the decision or the desire from people to kind of find a scapegoat in this series right now. In my eyes, I think it's unfair to pick on Nurse because he is playing through a pretty serious injury right now, and it's obviously difficult for him. And Jay Woodcroft said after the game that he's giving the Oilers everything that he's got. Does he need to be better? Yes, of course. That goes without saying. But at the end of the day, in my eyes, there's a lot of other blame that can go around beyond just on Darnell Nurse.
So if they go 11 and 7, what kind of changes would you make to the lineup?
For me, I would take Josh Archibald and Zach Kassian out of the lineup on the fourth line. They have been complete negative factors through the entire playoffs. Zach Kassian took the dumbest penalty I've ever seen in my life in the third period, pulling off Bowen Byram's helmet. Just stupid stuff that should force the team to sit him, honestly, because that's just a silly, stupid penalty to take at that point in the game. So bring out Archibald, bring out Kassian, maybe bring in Dylan Holloway to play with, Derek Ryan on the fourth line.
I'd like to see that.
And cycle some other wingers through there. Probably a guy like Devin Shore might be the right fit there. He's a guy who plays a similar game to Josh Archibald, can throw the body around a little bit. And then on the back end, you bring in a guy like Chris Russell or Philip Broberg. In my eyes, Broberg's probably the guy that comes in because he's got the ability to skate. And I think that's what the Oilers need right now against a speedy Colorado team. And
in general, how should the Oilers approach Game 3 thing in terms of just playing the game?
Well, they got to play the game their way. They got to impose their will on Colorado. I think the Oilers need to do a better job of gaining the offensive zone and getting pucks into the offensive zone, and they just need to really take a deep breath. They've looked panicked at times. They've looked panicked, and they've seemingly lost some of the structure of their game. I think if the Oilers can just kind of come back to the basics, they'll have a good shot in Game 3.
How about Connor McDavid being kind of shut down last night? Same with Leon Draisaitl. I mean, the Colorado's defense have really taken a page and just shut them down.
They've done a great job. Colorado's done a tremendous job. Like, they're a very good team.
There's no denying that.
Like, they're one of the best teams in the entire NHL. Mm-hmm. So, I'm not entirely surprised to see them doing a good job thus far of shutting them down or keeping them quiet at least, especially in Game 2. But in my eyes, you can't do that for very long with a guy like Connor McDavid. So I'm expecting a pretty big game 3 from him.
You know what's funny? You go on social media and people are now saying, see, this is what happens when you go up against a real team because, you went against a very poor LA Kings team. And then a Calgary. It's like, what are we not supposed to play the Kings? Like,
trolls are trolls.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like LA played, like LA was they were a good team.
Yeah, they were.
They were a good team. Like they were a very good team coming into the playoffs.
Give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, I mean, they were good and they played the Oilers tough. And Calgary, I mean, they've been one of the best teams in the league all year long. So, just silly comments there from some people.
But I think that's all for our next day reaction. A bit shorter, I guess. That's what happens when you don't score any goals.
Yeah, not much good things to talk about from the game. Honestly, I mean, they got to find a way to rebound here for a big game 3.
Don't forget to head to OilersNation.com for more in-depth analysis before game 3, and hopefully we are not on the brink of elimination by the next day reaction. And thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.